Shalom, shalom. Happy Sunday. Let me just connect here on Instagram. How is my people doing tonight? Okay, let me just check here. We go live. How we doing, family? So as we wait for people, I just want to mention complete gratitude for sharing the words. This space is cultivated with intention to dive deeper, to bring something that can serve you during your week as we are integrating and preparing for the next Shabbat, for that to say. And Shabbat uh, carry a deep meaning. However, if we see it in this way, it's like if creation, Shabbat is the seventh day, and creation was built in 6 days. If you prepare for the next Shabbat, what are you focusing to create in order to integrate in the next Shabbat? That will be on Friday. From Friday, Saturday, and then you're ready this Sunday to create the next manifestation, for that to say. What is the intention, the Kabbalah of yourself? So that's why we're using this space, is to bring also living wisdom that you can integrate into your life. And today, let's dive into Genesis. But the title for today is Start Even When You Are Not Ready. I want to bring wisdom from the Torah, the Zohar, the Bible, and Kabbalah, and how we bring this energy of trusting the process and don't going into the void of not enoughness, unworthiness, or the darkness itself that doesn't allow us to perceive the life and the light. And we constantly are in that loop of wanting to to jump the next chapter. However, there's like a gap. Why we constantly are waiting to be ready. And when we realize that it's not about being ready, but taking the first step, we realize that this is part of the principles of creation. There's a reason why there's that gap of unvoid from which we stayed in the comfort. We stayed in that loop and we stayed without taking the next step. And the beauty of this revelation is that, and in Kabbalah, that there's a reason why this is like that. So I'm going to share with you. I cannot perceive who is life because I am in a platform that share in all social medias, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments so we can dive deeper. We have a group of Kabbalah. If you feel the call to join in a deeper levels, the wisdom of Kabbalah, living wisdom, we are having an online course where we're going to navigate deeper on all of this wisdom that you can take into your life, that you can apply. Remember, this wisdom is a universal wisdom that is here to give us the tools, the practices, the awareness to perceive life from a place of connection with the light, the meaning of life, and how we can manifest, create with God, co create with God, connect with God, with the light, and remember our truth. That is the ultimate Bina. The Bina in the Sephirot of life is correlated with understanding, understanding creation. Why I am here? Why is all of this? So the principle of a Kabbalist is to ask questions. The deeper the questions, the deeper the answers. And sometimes we may not be ready for that answers. However, there's a beauty to be revealed. So let's dive today about the topic of start even when you're not ready. So as I mentioned before, why is so hard, or we create the illusion that is hard, is simple to take the steps that we desire to take in order to bring the desired reality? What is the gap, the void that block the light for us to perceive it? And why their vessel is not ready to receive the light or the concept of life? Because the vessel is just preparing to receive. The light is always there to be revealed. Your desires are already there to be revealed. It's up to us how we can prepare the vessel and understand through consciousness and awareness how we can reveal this light, how we can be the right vessel for that blessing, that miracle in our life, that manifestation to bring in forth in this reality. But going into what is the gap, and I have some notes here for sure, and it's correlated with the second verse of Genesis from Bereshit. You remember that in 2 weeks ago when we started this live, I shared with you the first verse that was in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth, right? That text is full of wisdom. It's full of insight of creation, how this was created, life, the universe, and that we were created in the image of Elohims. Who are Elohims? Gods, the plural of God, that create through constriction, that create through polarities, that create and have the discernment to create through the light and the darkness. So the light bring forth the fractal of Elohim. But now, if we read the second verse, it says, the earth was formless and void. Darkness was on the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim hovered over the surface of the water. And then in the third verse, it says, then God said, let there be light, and there was light. So I'm gonna share first. Let's dive into how this relate into our day-to-day process of life, of the blockage, the clipper, as we call that, is like the shelf, the void that doesn't allow us to perceive the light. The light is always there. In the sun is always gonna shine, right? It's the curtains that block the light or the perception of light. So we have curtains. We have shelf that in Kabbalah is called the klipat. Klipat are shelf conceptions that we create. Okay. So as we see here, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. It, and then it focused on the earth. What is the earth? The earth was formless and void. Darkness was on the face of the deep. So let's pause for a few. The first verses of the Bible speak about polarity, speak about heaven and earth, and then speak about formless. There doesn't have form, meaning there is a canvas, a black canvas to be filled. And then it was void. The light was void. Darkness was on the face of the deep. So now let's translate into the Hebrew. And sorry for my Hebrew, I'm learning Hebrew. But in Hebrew will be Vecharetz Hayeta Tohu Vavahu Vekoshes El Nei Tehum Veruach Elohim Merakev El Nei Hamayim Vayomer Elohim Yehiur Vayehiur. So let's just grasp what is the meaning here. When he mentioned Tohu, Tohu is related with chaos. When here in the Bible, in Torah is mentioned that the earth was unformed and void, it's related with chaos. It was disrupted. So Elohim from the light, the first action that did was to bring forth the Sitzum, is what in science is called the Big Bang. So it was formless and it was void. And from that void, and a spark of light, a splash in the universe. That's creation. It's a canvas. So we come from the emptiness. We come, and the principle of this universe, the law of this universe, is built from the formless, from the void. So we carry that inside. If we are made in the image of Elohim, and the principles from which Elohim created this universe, it was that it was unformed and void, chaos. And in the translation in Hebrew is tohu. related with chaos. There was chaos. So if we bring this into our life, and our life may look like a chaos, may look with voice, with perceptions, with with blockage that doesn't allow us to perceive the light of the Creator. And then it says, darkness, that is Kosek, was on the face of the deep. The first thing that was perceived was darkness. And from that darkness, the Spirit of Elohim hovered over the surface of the water. It brought water. What is water? We can relate the deep water for the sense of motion, energy in motion, emotions, feeling creation. And all of this come from the first verse, Vara, that the translation of Bereshit Vara, in the beginning Elohim create. Vara, the word Vara is blessing. It's correlated with blessing, meaning that all of this was created for in a blessing, for a blessing, through a blessing. So in the Kabbalist, the sage says that God, the main goal of God is pleasure. That's the ultimate goal. To enjoy and to bring the pleasure of life. That's why we feel pleasure. That's why we have the desire to cultivate the biggest desires of a soul, to feel that sense of creator, of pleasure. And then on the Spirit of Elohim hover over the surface of the water. Water, emotions. Then God said, or Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And the translation in Hebrew will be Vayomer Elohim Yahiur Vayahiur. This is powerful because, as we can see in this first verse of the Torah, we can perceive that, wow, from that darkness, the Spirit of Elohim that carries within ourselves, how we can perceive, and it was said into the darkness that there was light. And it was light. Light was already there. It's just that the void unveil. The void dissipates into the light. So if we bring this into our life, and why I'm sharing all of this, and the title of today was Start Even When You Are Not Ready. It's because of you can see creation was not ready since the beginning. It was formless. When we have an idea of what we want to create in our life, it comes from a space of formless. We perceive it, however, it's not tangible. And through a process of manifestation, we make it tangible. And that process comes from a void. What are the things that are blocking the light? So going back to the title, Start Even When You're Not Ready. When in your life you feel the void? Where in your life you feel the darkness and the void and the chaos? And how you can bring light into that chaos? How you can go deep in the waters as the spirit come from the waters, emotional waters, and perceive the light. And the light is always going to be there to be revealed, even when you're not seeing it. Okay, so that's why I want to share this. Now let's navigate the Kabbalah principles of that. As you can see, this is just an affirmation of what you already know. That we came here and we were created through principles of creation. That is also in the Hermetic principles in the Kybalion. That it's 7 principles of creation, and one of them is the principle of polarities, frequencies, correspondence, gender, which rhythm. So there's principles of creation from which this universe is created. Once we understand that, it's normal for us to feel that we are not ready to bring forth that desire, Now, once we accept this, we just need, or we must tap into the principle of creation to bring the light and to bring that desired creation into manifestation. And that's tapping into this understanding. So now, once we, and I'm gonna speak personally here about how this process is unfold through disintegration in my own life. In our life, and I'm gonna share some of Kabbalah, we came here with the essence of light and darkness, and we carry this within ourselves. In Hebrew, in Kabbalah, is mentioned that we carry the fallen angel within ourselves, that it's the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara. The translation is evil inclination, and the Yetzer habit, case that it's the light inclination, the good inclination, the God inclination. And we carry this in this duality. We create the morning, we create the evening, we create this, we carry this understanding. And what is our job? Is through that darkness how we can reveal the light, how we can follow the steps to really realize life. So if you feel that you're not ready, just take a pause and ask yourself, where in your life, or what is the void that is blocking the light? From that idea that is formless, is coming to reality and is passing through the process of creation. And from that creation, first there's chaos to be ordered. In order for your vessel to grow, it needs to be disrupted. Same like your muscles, like biology. Basically, Kabbalist and the sage says that once you understand biology, you understand the whole cosmos. The deeper you go within, the deeper you go without, as above, so below, as below, so above. Meaning that once you understand the biology and you see that when you go and exercise and you tense your muscle and you feel that pain, there's chaos, there's disruption following tension. So from that disruption, there's expansion, and it's the same in our life. From that void, from that darkness, from that chaos, there's the possibility, potentiality of light. There's always light. It's just for us to say it, to command it. Let God, let me see the light. Let me perceive the light. I want to perceive the light. What is the void that is blocking the light? So once we start asking those questions, and you already know what is the void that is blocking yourself to take the actions, because it's not about being ready. The universe was not ready, or Elohim was not ready to create the whole universe in one day. It took a process from the formless to the form, from the form to the tangible, from the matter. And that process was through 6 days. And this 6 days is something that we shared last Sunday that is related the process of Elohim's to create from Atzilut, that is the spiritual world, the spirit world, the light, into the matter, into the physical. And it's through 4 levels, that it's Asilut, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asya. Let me translate it just for you. I'm sharing here some bites of Kabbalah and Hebrew for you to integrate this wisdom. Start like managing the language. So absolute is the spiritual word. Then we go to the word, that's the word where it's like formless. We have the ideas, we bring it, and then we start cultivating the outlines. That's where it's bria. It's like the structures, the sketch. Okay, how I'm gonna bring that idea into manifestation. And then it comes to formation, that is Yetzirah. Okay, let me do this, let me do that. Like start moving the pieces, taking the actions, and then you have Asya, that is the right action, the diligent action to make that happen. So through all this process of creation is expressed in the first verse of the Bible, Torah. So as you say, you don't need to be ready. to manifest. You just need to take the action to follow the steps, and you are becoming ready as you go. I may not be ready to be sharing all of this like in the way that I'm perceiving myself in the future. But as I go, I becoming ready. As I keep sharing, going out in life every Sunday, more videos, I'm becoming ready. It's the process of becoming. We are never gonna be ready. We're always expanding. Our vessel is always expanding into more light. Our vessel is receiving more light constantly. It's up to us if we go and we stay in the void, or we say, Vayomer Elohim. Elohim said, "Let there be light," and there was light. That's the clarity of creation, that as you are created as Elohim, you have the same power of creation. We are just remembering. We're just tapping here. So watch out what you create. Watch out what you say. Where you focus your energy. What are you saying to create? And that's the main principle of this process. Okay. But hope that this serve you. I want to keep it uh, respectful about the time. But yeah, start even when you don't feel that you are ready. Just start. Just do it. It will follow. It's a becoming. It's a be to have. People usually it's more about when I have this, is that I'm gonna do that. And when I do that, I'm gonna be this. Be first, but the becoming and the doing goes correlated. The doing, that's the paradox. Like you must do in order to be, and you must be in order to do. Both goes by hand. You see a lot of information right now in the spiritual world that it's about becoming and doing and having. At the end, that's the goal. It's a becoming process for sure, where there must be action. Elohim took action, and the action doesn't need to be just physical action. It's mental action. In fact, that's where it starts. What is your mental action? Then your speech action, then your physical actions. It must be present first in the mind to bring it into the expression and into the physical action. So, what is your actions with your mind? Where are you intending? Where are you focusing? In the evil inclination, the Yetzirah, where is the darkness? And it's okay. We carry within ourselves, and this is a topic that I'm gonna go in the next services. That is the fallen angels. That is the fallen Elohim. That is um, the rebellious side of creation, and we carry that, and it's correlated with the physical, like the ego self, that self that is rebellious, that we know what to do, however we don't do it because there's a voice that says, no, I want to do it in my own way. It should be in my own way. So that's where you bring control, expectation, clear path, conceptions. The question is, how can I go back into the Jet Sahara complete alignment of letting go of my own control to bring God's desires? Because at the end, God's desires are my desires. Elohim desires are my desires. The falling of my life is made by God. I was creating the image. I'm just the representation in the flesh of that creation. And that's the meaning of the name Adam. Adam is made by three Hebrew letters. That is Adam, that is Aleph, the first Hebrew letter that you can translate it as 8. However, Aleph, if you go deeper, is connected with God. Then you have Dalet, there is the D, and Mem, that is like the M for that to say. Mem is correlated with waters. Waters and Dalet is the flesh, correlated also with the blood. So dam, it's blood in Hebrew. So literally when we connect a dam, it means God in flesh and blood. So we are the representation of God in flesh and blood. And Eve, we think that Adam and Eve is woman and man. However, Adam is the humankind, and Eve, if once you translate in Hebrew, is to live. God in flesh, to life, to live. The woman, the feminine side, sorry, because you can be a woman and have more masculine inclination. Like here we go deeper in the energies. So my apologies for that. Once we understand that the feminine energy is the supplier of life, is the receiver. We are constant receiving. The earth is receptive. It receives life. And the father is the one that put the seeds. That's the beauty from shamanisms to all of these texts, that you see the masculine force of creation and the feminine force that is this earth to receive the light, to receive the seeds of God, for that to say. So that's the beauty. The energies of the woman, I keep saying the woman, the female energies, and the male, the masculine energies, that it's receptivity and suppletion, sharing, giving. The masculine force give life, the feminine force receive life. Okay. So hope that this serves you. Let's go and bring this energy into this week, asking yourself, where in your life are you bringing the void, that you experience chaos, and how you can say, take the action to say, let there be light. How can I reveal the light? How can I bring this desire into manifestation? What is the actions to take to bring it? What is stopping me? Like ready, like the feeling of ready. It's just gonna come when we react, and we're never gonna be like totally ready. We're always expanding into higher states. It's the process of transformation, preparing the vessel to something higher and higher. So that's the question that we can ask for this week, the energies of this week, to reveal more light. We become revelators of light. So hope that this resonate with you. Let's bring these energies. I'm gonna dive deeper in this wisdom through a Kabbalah course where you can get on Shimvala. It's not ready yet. Also, we're gonna have in person in Spanish and English. I have to move it. We were planning to do it on the 24th. However, we're planning to move it. There's been a lot of manifestations and energies coming into our life, so I felt that was not the time. I just decided to move to a new date, so in that way I can focus completely in bringing the best to yourself. And we're gonna open also Spanish for our Spanish speakers, and let there be the light. So thank you so much. If this resonate, please share this video, share it with those that you feel that will resonate with this message. Our intention is to bring forth this for the week, create this space that you give just like how much it's been 30 minutes of your day on Sunday to prepare yourself for the week, for the next Shabbat, and how you're going to integrate that into your life. Okay, so shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem. Many blessings and love. The best energies for your week. Let walk the light, and see you on the next service.